Hey there, everybody. What a crazy world we're living in. Figured I would go live for a few minutes today to chat with you all. Unfortunately, I'll be traveling tomorrow, so I've been having to pack up a lot of my things, and I won't be able to do my typical news updates with the screen and whatnot. And that's why I'm investing in some kind of broadcasting software as well. Like I said, I'll probably be getting a Wirecast, dropping a few bucks on that, but it's gonna make everything real pretty, real streamlined. Not only am I packing up all my things, but I've been busy on some other projects, so fortunately I haven't really had the time to keep up with all the craziness going on, the past 24, 48 hours. There's all kinds of things. So, I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes. We can chat about whatever you guys want to. I'll let you guys direct the conversation. So we can talk about news. We can talk about some other things. Oh, I literally have my computer up here and Q just posted again. The pen! Anyway, I've actually been working on that Secret Space Program webinar that I'll be doing this weekend. That's why I'm traveling. I'll actually be heading to Denver tomorrow, and I'll be there for about a week and a half. And the webinar that I'm doing on Saturday it's going to be on the late great William Tompkins story, that amazing man, and his testimony and all that. So yeah, go check that out. It's gonna be fun. And aside from that, I mean, we could talk about some news stories. We talk about those text messages, the FBI. We can talk about the memo. I do want to talk about what happened yesterday with that whole 99-page FISA report that Alex Jones was reporting on, and some circumstances in regards to that. So, of course, I'm still getting some questions of people wondering if the 4-page memo, the one that's been circulating around the House of Representatives, has been released, and it hasn't yet. Of course, we're all waiting on that. But obviously, that 99-pager was circulating around, and I tried to do a couple of videos on it yesterday, but I ended up deleting them because I just wasn't comfortable with understanding the circumstances, so I made those videos private. But anyway, as for my opinion now, as far as I understand it, of course, that 99-page report on FISA, potato, it may have been uploaded last year. Of course, like Tracy Beans, for instance, was noticing that when you actually type in the document into Google and search it, it says April 28th, 2017, as if it was uploaded last year. But again, some other people were making some very good observations in that with this report being done on April 26th, how exactly would they have uploaded it so quick, only within 48 hours to post it online on April 28th? Could have been backdated. That's a possibility. Could have, there's a lot of other things going on. Granted, was Alex Jones the first to report on it? I don't think so. I had seen definitely some other people. Some are saying George Webb reported on it before that, and the Conservative Treehouse and some other journalists and outlets and whatnot. So there's that. But here's some other circumstances in regards to that 99-page memo. Alex Jones is getting the word out about it. It's not like this 99-pager is mute, right? And of course, Alex Jones with his reporting style, somewhat sensationalist, but it's helpful in a way, right? Because it's getting the word out very fast, because we need a word out about it real quick. And Adam Schiff, the other day, he was crying on CNN, is probably CNN, and he was saying, oh, the American public, they're not going to understand this 4-page memo, so it doesn't need to be released. They don't have all the backstory, yada, yada. Well, that's the thing about this 99-pager that we're all now seeing and understanding, is that that's the backstory. So that gives us the understanding as to what this 4-page memo is about. So this 4-pager we're all waiting for, it could be some kind of summary as to that 99-pager. It could have some of those redacted parts in it. And I'd imagine it has a lot more. As, if you follow Q, it looked like on December 22nd, Q had uploaded a post that essentially detailed this 4-page memo, and it had a lot more in there than was just said in the 99-page report. For instance, things regarding Seth Rich and WikiLeaks and other things like that. So that's, you know, a lot of people said they're having issues. I hope my stuff's just not being screwed with. But anyway, so it's, what I'm saying here is that it's good. It's good we have that 99-page memo reported. I don't think Bill Binney and Roger Stone would go on Alex Jones and be saying all these things if they didn't know the circumstances in which they were doing so. And I think that that April 28th date is somewhat of a moot point. You know, it's what's being reported on it is kind of just for the greater good, as I'm seeing. So there's that. And now we have everything in regards to the text messages coming out. So not only, I mean, what is it here? I have my computer up, and Fox News is now reporting on the high-level FBI officials allegedly involved in the secret society. So that term, secret society, is now hitting Fox News, and it's seriously hitting the mainstream. So that's big. That's real big. And of course, we have the Pope. The Pope today. I don't know if you saw it. If you follow me on Twitter, you have seen it, as I post a lot of these things I discuss on my Twitter account. He's saying that fake news is satanic. Hilarious. The Pope of all people, all right, calling fake news satanic. The pot calling the kettle black there. So there's that. And then what else do we have? Of course, a lot of people commenting already of the latest Q posts. And allegedly, according to Q, he's saying that today former President Obama has formally retained counsel. So again, it's only Wednesday into this week, and we already have all kinds of stuff going down. So it's a big week, guys. Exciting week. And, you know, I'm excited to see what the next few days are going to bring us. So that's really all I wanted to discuss so far. Big article that I saw come out on NBC as well, talking about people working within the Defense Department, contractors, having their initial security clearances revoked because they found questionable financial transactions influenced by foreign governments, and even felonies like pedophilia. That surprised me. It surprised me that NBC would be reporting on that. Actually saying that Defense Department contractors would be involved in things like pedophilia. It's amazing. And Mike Cernovich actually tweeted this article. That's how I found it. So NBC reporting on it. I mean, is the tide changing? Are things seriously? Even the Mockingbird media might be being forced to start reporting some truth. Yeah, somebody just commented, slowly getting back to real news, whether we actually have some white hats being inserted into these media organizations, or it's just public opinion, public outcry. They're being forced to report real news because their ratings are dropping. They know if they don't start reporting truth that they're going to start losing followers, losing people. So there's that point. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody mentioned heroin. That's also a big news story I heard, is that in New York, I don't have the article up here, so this is kind of on the top of my head, but there's a massive lawsuit against opioid manufacturers. So that's fantastic news. If we start going after the pharmaceutical industrial complex, big pharma, that's big, and that definitely makes me happy. So it's very good news. Yeah, somebody commented, slowly unveiling the pedophile stuff and secret society information. Absolutely, I do agree. And I wouldn't even say slowly now. It's getting faster. We're seeing it on Fox News. Even the words secret society. That's big news. But, of course, we want, as I was discussing in a video yesterday, full disclosure, you know, we want the reality of secret societies going to the top and existing not just in the FBI, right? Secret societies have been infiltrating politics and corporations for centuries. So, somebody asked, do I think Q is only going to unveil 40%? And I don't know. You know, I don't know. But here's the thing on that as well. Why are you waiting for Q to drop the 40% per se? I mean, if you want to search for the truth, you have the internet at your disposal. And there's there's crazy amounts of information out there that you can go search on your own. It's up to you to do that. So it's not like you have to wait for somebody else, whoever it is, some type of government official or somebody on 8chan to be telling you what kind of deep, dark truths are out there. But again, I mean, there is the, okay, what are we going to see on a mainstream level? What's going to be divulged to the general public from the government? And this is that debate I was talking about, full disclosure, partial disclosure. Of course, we want those big, heavy truths to come out and the public to know, but at the same time, we don't want the public to delve into chaos. We don't want people to riot. And then the idea of, okay, partial disclosure, if we only get part of it to prevent chaos from occurring, there's a difference between partial disclosure with negative intentions and a partial disclosure with positive intentions, right? Partial disclosure with negative intentions would be like what the cabal is doing to distract us with their UFO stories on the New York Times and give us little pieces of the truth, but then to hide the rest. If you have a partial disclosure from a positive intention standpoint, it's not like they're hiding anything, or they're bringing out part of the truth, not to necessarily hide. By they, I mean white hats of the Alliance or whatnot. They would only be bringing out part of the truth, not necessarily to hide the bad things and let the perps skate off or prevent them from getting tried. It would be to just prevent society from getting into riots and chaos and going places we don't want it to go. So, I mean, it's just a big, it is a big topic. And, of course, I mean, we could start at 40%, and as public becomes acclimated, as people begin believing it and adjusting to it, and as the detox, as that Herxheimer reaction happens, as you always get when you start detoxing, you know, mentally and spiritually and physically, then we can start getting to more 100% truth. And somebody commented up here. I'm going to address that because I disagree. Somebody said I am wrong about the New York Times article, and the New York Times article I'm referencing is the one that came out on December 16th, showing the UFOs and that Pentagon program where they were researching unexplained aerial threats, or their aerial threat identification program. He's saying it's a slow leak from white hats too, and I disagree respectfully, because if you look at the people behind that, who is behind that? John Podesta and Harry Reid and various other people from the CIA and the Air Force and bad actors within the intelligence community. So that is quite obviously a partial disclosure with negative intentions to do what's called a limited hangout. Limited hangout is as such where as your cover starts to get blown, when your lies can no longer hold up because people are finding out too much, you voluntarily divulge part of the truth to distract the public with so you can hide the rest. And that's what they tried to do with those New York Times articles and all the other articles about this UFO subject that came out about a month ago now. And luckily, people just didn't care, right? It didn't even do what they wanted. It seemed to be, it's like the public was so fluoridated. It's like a catch-22 there. They try to fluoridate our brains and inject us with so many vaccines to dumb us down and numb us. And then when they try to bring out, oh, this UFO subject, it's like, oh man, but we're not even riling them up because they got so much fluoride in their brains. So it didn't work out for how they wanted. And of course, everybody is so, not everybody, but people are so passioned by everything going on with Q, and even people who aren't into Q, they're still into getting all of these deep dark truths out that they can sniff out the bullshit. It's getting obvious these days. Somebody said 9/11 truth would force people to open their minds to all possibilities. That would be a big one. It's definitely a red pill to a lot of people. The first red pill that they get into the real world with, that their minds get out of fantasy land with. So 9/11's a big one of many. And it always depends on the person, right? It always depends on their experiences, where they're coming from, and you have different things that are going to affect them differently. Some people it's going to be maybe the pharmaceutical industry. Some people it might be 9/11. Other people's red pill that gets them out of the matrix might be something else. So a lot of them lately, it's been the whole storm phenomenon. It's been Pizzagate, right? It's been those deep dark subjects. That riles a lot of people up, and rightly so, you know. Let's see here. Thanks, mods. Straight up. Somebody asked, what about all the depopulation agendas? If you know about the Georgia Guidestones, those big, like, what are they, 15, 20 feet tall stones in Georgia, out in the middle of nowhere, where each side it's written the same thing, and it's like this plan to depopulate the world and bring the population down to a manageable 500 million people or something to that effect. But recently, the Georgia Guidestone has been, let's see, it's been like changed. Somebody, it's been like cleaned. So no, I don't think that depopulation agenda is viable. It's not going to happen. You know, it's quite obvious that this cabal is on their last legs, and beautifully, we have so many white hats, so many good hearts working behind the scenes, so many patriots working behind the scenes, and they've been doing that for a long time. Q has only been on the scene recently, in the past 3 months, but this plan has been in the works for, I would say, years, if not decades, and multiple factions. You know, it's not, when you say alliance, it's not, it's like one group, but there's multiple groups that have been working behind the scenes, and now it's all coming to fruition. Good comment here. The pharmaceutical industry is the depopulation agenda, and I would agree with that. That's definitely a big part of it. We have the reality here, biological warfare agents that have been worked on by the cabal. Many of them are inserted into things like vaccines, sprayed over our heads in geoengineering programs. And of course, pharmaceuticals are all poison. We don't need them. We just need proper education in how to eat and move and take care of ourselves. So as long as we do that, the pharmaceutical industry won't touch us. Reject the poison, people. Good question. What do I think they're doing with the spraying? It's a multi-fold, multi-layered agenda with it. Of course, it completely toxifies our bodies, spraying aluminum and barium over our heads. We breathe that in. Aluminum is highly toxic to your nervous system, to your kidneys, to all kinds of body processes. And not only that, but they're blocking out the sun. They're trying to block out the cosmic rays, the sun's energies from reaching us and actually having an effect. But it's a spiritual war, folks. This whole global storm going on, it's a spiritual war against us. They want to completely screw our minds up, not just physically, but also with what we think and with how we think. Because if they can do that, then we can't use our mental power against them, right? So, 5G, somebody mentioned, absolutely. Electrosmog, Wi-Fi. It's funny because, speaking of that, Nikola Tesla, so there's a famous quote that circulates around about Tesla, where he was quoted back in 1920-something, discussing how you could, with the science that he was working Nikola Tesla cell phone quote. In 1926. So it was in 1926, he was saying, when wireless is perfectly applied to the whole Earth, it will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact is, all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephones, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles. Now, a lot of people describe this quote as if he was describing the cell phones that we have now, but he actually wasn't. He was describing a different form of information sending. He was describing quantum communication systems and actually quantum transfer, or longitudinal transfer, point-to-point energy sending. Right now, what we have with our current Wi-Fi systems and with 5G and all that jazz is the transverse sending of information, transverse waves. That's what harms our DNA, okay? You can, with the ideas of entanglement, with all points in space and time being connected, this is how quantum communication systems work. This is how literally portal travel, things like Stargates work. This is how the spacecraft and secret space programs can go point to point and literally dematerialize and rematerialize elsewhere, is through that quantum transference. So it's a very important distinction to make there, and we need to do away with all of these these energy systems and Wi-Fi systems and 5G that literally harm our DNA, screw our blueprint up, and get into the kinds of technologies that absolutely are viable, that exist, that have existed, that already exist on this planet. We're just not have them. They don't let us have them. They're not, they're stuck in those projects that the cabal keeps away from us. Good question. When will they stop the cover-up of aliens? On one hand, it's already kind of stopped, right? Came out in those mainstream articles about a month ago. So the cover-up's kind of ending. But on the other hand, who cares about the cover-up? Like I said, with the internet, you can go find whatever you want out right now. So who cares what Big Brother's telling you? You got the truth at your fingertips. If you so choose, right? If you so choose. Good question here. What do I think of the 16-year plan by Q? Well, obviously they didn't get their Clinton crony in office, right? So it's mute point, but I don't think it's just a 16-year plan. It's quite obviously always been the plan. It's been the plan for, the Federal Reserve was set up in America in 1913, so it's at least been a century plan, and then you can expand it to being a millennial plan. The Roman Empire never went away, went underground, and here it is now in our world. And of course, the religious institutions on our planet, they've been gripping us, mind controlling people for centuries, millennia, and even before that. So there's been entities on this earth trying to control us for a long, long time. And what's so beautiful about being alive right now is that we're all getting out of that, all of us together. We are literally in the times of, we are in that quantum shift right now, the quantum shift of humanity. Don't feed the Archon, somebody said. Absolutely. It's a multi, I wouldn't call it dimensional, it's a multi-density experience, or experience that we're going through right now. Yeah, there's a good comment here. Watch BP Earthwatch for earthquake reasons. It is solar. I agree. There's a massive connection that the sun has to our planet and us that not a lot of people are too familiar with. And BP Earthwatch is a great YouTube channel. Suspicious Observers is a great YouTube channel. Dabu7 is a great YouTube channel. And I watch them all. I don't really know. I hear there's a tiff between guys, but I don't care. I mean, I'm the kind of person where I absorb all information and discern it, distill it, and find the truth through everybody. I could give a shit about who has quarrels with who or who talks shit about me. I'll still watch their videos and listen to their information, So there's all that. 2,000 likes, please. Heck yeah, like this, y'all. I would love 2,000 likes. Here's a good question here. Do I think the International Financial Summit in Davos, Switzerland is to implement new gold-backed currencies around the world? So that delves along the line of course, say the BRICS countries installing a new gold-backed currency, the dollar becoming not the world reserve currency, and also, thank you for the super chat. I'll get to my thoughts on CE5 in a sec. But I want to talk about the gold-backed currencies and then Nazara. I get a lot of questions on Nazara. So that's something that I've heard for like 5 years that is always going to be tonight and always going to be tomorrow. Yeah, Nazara is going to be enacted tomorrow. So understand, there's been a lot of disinformation put out there about prosperity funds and, oh my gosh, they're going to be released tomorrow, right? So don't expect you to wake up tomorrow with 8 new zeros in your bank account. But at the same time, I do believe that there are prosperity funds and a new financial system coming our way. But on the same note, understand that no matter what it is, if it's a dollar-based system, like a paper dollar system, that you can still make honorable. It's just all about usury. That's the issue. You can still have an honorable paper money system, or whether it is a gold-backed system, or even if it's a cryptocurrency system. It's all about value. Value is different for everybody. See what I'm saying? Honestly, what are you going to do with a brick of gold? What can you do with it? What is gold? You can't eat gold. You can't really make anything with gold. You can if you have big fancy machinery and smelting abilities, but, I don't have that. So what are you really going to do with that? What are you really going to do with the paper? What are you really going to do with cryptocurrency coins in some online wallet? You're not. I would much rather have food. Food is the best kind of currency to me because I can eat that. I would have stuff I can use. That's a kind of currency. So just perceive value on that. And it's often said that cosmic civilizations, they don't have any kind of monetary system. They don't do cryptocurrency or gold or paper dollars. They do barter. It's all about bartering because different things are going to mean more to different people. A fishing pole to a fisherman or somebody proficient at fishing is going to have a lot more value than a fishing pole to somebody who doesn't really know how to fish. So that's why that kind of bartering system is much better. And now on to your question about the CE5 protocol. So CE5 is otherwise better known as human-initiated contact with those cosmic civilizations. And yeah, I mean, when I speak about this quite a bit, but when I went to James Gilliland's East City Ranch out near Mount Adams, that's essentially what it was. He has star watching nights where you go out with the intention of seeing something in the sky, and as long as you have a pure heart and are spiritually understanding enough or advanced enough, then you'll be contacted. So that's, I mean, that's a funny question. A lot of people go, oh yeah, if there's extraterrestrials here, why don't they just show themselves to us? Why don't they just decloak their ships around the whole earth? Well, it's the non-interference policy and free will. They can't just do it, because then they will break those laws of free will and become karmically entangled. It's not viable in the long run. So you have to initiate that contact, and that's what we're getting to as a planet here. People are waking up, and eventually, as more disclosures happen and we get there, there'll be an initiated contact. And then at the same time, a lot of people go, oh, demons, 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 and you just lost me and stuff like that. Well, that's why you put the intention out there of not being messed with by them, right? So yes, it's, there are good ones and bad ones. And the bad ones are the ones that they love the adrenochrome, right? They love the fear. They feed off of our fear on a global scale, but we're not going to give it to them anymore. And then the positive ones are just waiting for us to get our shit together. Spiritually, mentally. Hi, Nicole. Glad you could catch me live. Let's see here. What do I think of the electric universe theory? Good question, Ty. I think it's much more legitimate than many of the theories that were taught in mainstream science institutions. And I mean, when it comes to mainstream science, it's just they do it to control our minds, to lead us astray and not bring us towards the truth. And understanding the electric nature of the cosmos, with us being electric beings, our Earth being electric, our sun is electric. As Walter Russell said, we are, what do you say? We're electric beings in an electric ocean in an electric universe, or something to that effect, And as Walter Russell also said, and many other scientists, when electricity and gravity are the opposites, essentially just yin and yang. So absolutely, electric universe theory. Somebody commented on the Wes Penra papers, and I've read a few of them. I like his work. His work is really quality, and I align with it quite a bit. Whoop. New mod. Sweet. Ooh, good question. Can I do an interview with the Sergeant Report? I should get in contact with him. Frickin' love his work. And he tweets some of my videos sometimes. Posts some. Appreciate that, Mr. Sergeant Report. Let's see here. Thank you, Edward, for the chat. Have I heard anything on Adam Kokesh? I haven't, unfortunately. The name sounds familiar, but unfortunately not. And comment here, Potter Expositor. Shout out to Roy Potter. If you don't subscribe to him, go do it, because his work is awesome. Let's see. Here's a question here, or not a question, but a comment about Mark Passio needing technical help in Philly. I love Mark Passio's work. Unfortunately, I need technical help too. All this technical stuff. And on that note, my new website will be up in a couple days. that I'm working with somebody with. He's helping me with. But yeah, new website up. But anyway, Mark Passio, great stuff. He's got a 9-hour presentation on natural law that I would suggest all of you go watch. Just binge it. Just watch it over the course of like 4 or 5 days if you need to, but it's 9 hours long, and he literally goes through so much stuff. He goes through cosmic laws, hermetic principles, just deep philosophy. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Mark Passio, he's intense. He's an intense guy, and that's what I love about him is his attitude. Sometimes it turns some people off, but not me, man. I ain't no snowflake. And here was a super chat up here I want to get to because I saw some great names in it. Electric Universe Theory, look up Ken Wheeler, Wal Thornhill, I like Wal Thornhill. Eric Dollard, I like Eric Dollard. Nikola Tesla, Thunderbolts Project, and then he also mentioned Dewey B. Larson, which, yes, I love Dewey B. Larson's work. And his work, that's the thing. Everybody's got their own theories. It's all just people trying to connect the dots and understand how our universe functions. So to say one is the truth, nothing is the truth. It's just we're trying to come as close as we can to it. And a lot of people are coming closer than others. And it's been said that Dewey B. Larson's philosophies or theories it's not the way the universe works, cosmos works, the ways of physics here works, but Dewey B. Larson's work is the closest. And his ideas are called the reciprocal systems theory, whereby space and time and space are reciprocals of each other. And I'm not going to, I could discuss this for a long, long time. But space and time are essentially right now, this material world we live in with our meat suits. We are living in a realm, the material realm, Dewey B. Larson called it, where we have 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time. Time is linear. We got forward, backward, and then 3 dimensions of space, up, down, left, right, front, back. And when you cross the speed of light, which is doable because we're all already moving so fast, the Earth is spinning, moving around the sun, sun's moving around the galactic central sun. So everything is motion. Everything's already in motion. We're already moving really freaking fast. So it doesn't take much to move an object or a being past the speed of light. But once you get past the speed of light, you move from that material realm to the cosmic realm. And in the cosmic realm, you have 1 dimension of space and 3 dimensions of time. And that's, yes, exists. And with that 3 dimensions of time, that's how you can go forward and backward in time, which has been done and is possible. And I know it sounds crazy, and if you want to understand a little bit more about that, watch, what's that movie? Interstellar. That's some truth in plain sight right there about this concept of space and time-space. So it's very interesting. I'll post, in fact, a link to a PDF down below that's a really good overview as to Dewey B. Larson's theories. And you can also look up a whistleblower. I'll call him a whistleblower for lack of a better term. And his name is Daniel. Look up the Daniel Papers. He, apparently, Daniel, pseudonym we're calling him, used to work on the Montauk Project in New York. The Montauk Project was an offshoot of MK Ultra, and in the Montauk Project, one of the craft that they were able to reverse engineer from, they were able to get a seat, essentially, from an extraterrestrial craft that crashed somewhere. I don't know if it was Roswell or some kind of other craft, but they obtained a seat. And when you put a human in the seat, through the powers of mind, the powers of consciousness, the human was able to remote view different points in time, space and time. And, yeah, anyway. Daniel Papers. Montauk Project also. Do. Oh, man. Flat Earth. Not even going to talk about that. Here's a good question. How do I feel about disclosure in video games? Interesting. He was playing a video game called Just Cause 3, and one of the provinces in the game is called Soros. It also mentions directed energy weapons and a weapon called Eden Spark. Yeah, there's been lots of disclosure, lots of seeding of our consciousness coming out by way of video games, which when you do it through video games, you're hitting a massive market of millions of people and also the youngest market in young folk. So you're able to seed their consciousness, but also a lot of this disclosure is coming out by way of movies and television. How many, the X-Files being rebooted. I believe recently the Secret Space Program was even mentioned in the X-Files. Netflix shows. I was just discussing the Montauk Project. Have you even watched Stranger Things? Montauk Project, MK Ultra right there. So, yeah, so much stuff. So much stuff coming out. Stargate, somebody mentioned. Absolutely. Stargate. Marvel movies. Lots of good concepts in the Marvel movies. Let's see here. I'm going to do this for another about 10 minutes, and then I've got some running to do. And I was running. What do I think about the quantum properties of crystals? Speaking of Nikola Tesla, didn't he say crystals were living things because they vibrate? They vibrate at an immense frequency. And crystals are essentially living things. Of course, they're not living on the same density as we are with self-awareness and consciousness, but you could say maybe they're first or second density beings, things. And funny enough, there's a lot of technology you can make through the vibratory nature of crystals. Look into Otis Carr. Otis Carr was a protege of Nikola Tesla, and Otis Carr created a craft that worked with, it literally was, it worked by way of crystals, and the human brain, whatever pilot was in the craft, would pilot the craft through his mind with his crystal, and that's how it was able to move through space and time. So, yeah, crystals, man. That's why Jason Quit. Shout out Jason Quit. I don't have it. Hold on. I'll be right back. Check out this sucker. So Jason Quit gave me this. This is a fancy schmancy crystal. It's one of my favorite ones. It's like a weapon. Look how sharp that is. And yeah, crystals, man. Powerful. Powerful things. I don't have too many of them, but Quit gave me this, and it's a friggin' piece of art. I'm excited. I'll actually be seeing Jason at the Conscious Life Expo. Speaking of which, I will be at the Conscious Life Expo in LA in 2 weeks. Not speaking. I'll be doing some work there, so I'll be pretty busy. But if any of y'all go there, I'll see ya. Crystal kills. Drugs are bad. Okay. Somebody said, will you please speak about Philip Dick's amazing disclosure since 1974? Not familiar with him, but I will research him for you, and then next one of these I do, if you ask me about Dick, I'll talk Dick. I'm always up for more information. Somebody said woohoo Sedona. I haven't been to Sedona yet. I've not been there. All right, here's a comment I've seen like 3 times. Purple sky during solar flash. Yes, I'm sure the sky will change colors. That's an interesting point, though. I mean, that whole solar flash, cosmic sneeze, ascension burst we're all waiting for, that I honestly think will happen within the next probably 3 to 5 years would be my guess. Depends on what happens on our planet, how soon we all wake up. But what I visualize this a lot and I speculate on how it'll happen, but I think we'll get some serious global auroras. So the auroras that normally are over North and South Pole from cosmic radiation, sun radiation, once that sun pops out its big flare, that those aurora will probably be global, and then I'd imagine it will stimulate some kind of global DMT trip. You know, our pineal glands will all be stimulated and resonating higher when that flare flash hits us, and then boom, we will all rise together. Okay, we're going to switch gears for a sec here. Awesome question. MMS versus colloidal silver. So colloidal silver being the pure micro silver in water, and MMS being a form of also known as chlorine dioxide. I've done a video on it before. You can go check out. But there are pros and cons between the two. I have seen MMS cure cancer. I've seen the MMS and the Gerson therapy both cure a myriad of diseases. And fantastic stuff. But at the same time, colloidal silver is just, it doesn't require as much depthness to understand and use. You know, you can use things like, yeah, somebody commented silver sol, colloidal silver, easy to use. You can go to the normal store and get it. MMS is difficult to get. Sometimes you can't even get it in America here because the FDA is trying to put the kibosh on it, and they've literally jailed some people over it. Daniel Smith, prayers go out to you. But MMS is more potent and stronger, so it just depends. It just depends. MMS you want to be very careful with because it can detoxify you a little too much. You can get sick using it. Well, you want to be careful with anything you use, of course. Thank you, Carrix. I appreciate that. Waiting to ask my opinion on the primer field theory, electricity and magnetism. I'm going to... I haven't heard of that specific theory, but email me, actually. Shoot me an email. I'll look into it and discuss. Somebody said hydrogen peroxide used same as MMS. Yes and no. So getting into the science of it, hydrogen peroxide has a higher what's called redox potential. And the redox potential is its like oxidative potential. Hydrogen peroxide can oxidize our human cells. That's why when you use 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide for cancer, you want to inject it right into the cancer site. Normally. With MMS, it does not have a redox potential that's higher than our human cells. That's why MMS you can just drink, you can rub it on your skin. It's a little easier to use by way of that. You don't need to be quite as careful in that regard. So it's a little different between the two, but they're both oxidative therapies. Ozone therapy, food-grade hydrogen peroxide, and MMS are all oxidative therapies that can oxidize cancer cells and viruses and whatnot within us. And somebody said Rick Simpson oil cures cancer. I disagree. And let me specify. This will be one of the last things I discuss about. Actually, somebody asked me, monatomic gold, do I know any reliable sources? Yes, go check out Vancouver Island Ormus. I've used that stuff. And shout out to Kevin Hay, who owns that company. I've been meaning to have him on this channel. I will get him because that dude is smart. But that's a really good source of monatomic gold you can go check out. But anyway, what question was I about to talk about? Oh yeah, cannabis oil being a cure. So here's the thing. To cure cancer, I would not say there is one cure for cancer. I wouldn't say anything cures cancer except lifestyle change. That's it. So you can use cannabis oil as a remedy. It is a far superior remedy than chemotherapy or pharmaceuticals, right? But if you just use cannabis oil and don't change your habits and don't change your ways, don't change the food you're eating or the things you're putting on your skin or the things you're breathing or even your mental processes, then you're not, I mean, it's not a cure. The cancer is just going to come back, right? So You need to be very careful with that cure word, with that four-letter C word right there. Because I would say probably the only thing I would call a cure for cancer is the Gerson therapy. Because with the Gerson therapy, you're changing what you eat, you're changing your lifestyle habits, you're changing what you're putting on and in and around yourself. So that's why I specify, and I specified earlier, MMS and the Gerson therapy for curing. Medicinal mushrooms, somebody said. Yes, a very good remedy. But to call it a cure, if you actually want to get rid of the cancer, there is about 5,000 things that you want to make sure you're doing rather than just taking one little compound, right? So those are just kind of some deeper thoughts there to in regards to holistic health and curing. Somebody said they love that mushroom guy. I'm assuming you're talking about Paul Stamets, and I agree. Paul Stamets is amazing. He has great talks on mushrooms, and I love mushrooms, man. I love what they do to my brain. I love what they do to my body. Good stuff. I take cordyceps, lion's mane, chaga. What else do I got? I take a lot. I take a lot of mushrooms. And then somebody said my thoughts on Royal Rife frequency generators. Absolutely. So all is frequency, all is energy. When trying to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency and energy and vibration, you know? Tesla. Tesla is the theme of this one. Maybe I'll change the name of this this chat to the Tesla chat. But anyway, yes, Rife frequencies. So you can literally find frequencies for different viruses and cancer and bacterial cells in your body and poof, pulverize it. That's why this whole concept of disclosure, right? We're not only waiting for zero-point energy devices in our stargates and anti-gravity propulsion, but we want the health technologies to be disclosed. The health technologies. Let's see here. We'll do this for a few more minutes. I want to get to 1,000 likes. Come on, 3 more. 3 more people. 4 more. Somebody unliked it. What did I say? Did I make you mad? Yeah, there we go. 1,000 likes. Sweet. Ooh, memory supplements. Good question there. I just mentioned the mushroom lion's mane. Lion's mane is a good mushroom that has 2 molecules in it that are small enough to cross your blood-brain barrier and start spurring neurogenesis. So lion's mane is really good to actually help regrow your brain cells. Omega-3s. Get your omega-3s in, whether it's plant-based omega-3s, flax oil, hemp oil, algae-based omega-3s, or fish oils. But your brain cells, your membranes, are made up of those omega-3 fatty acids. So you need that. And somebody asked if I can speak on nootropics. That's what I'm doing now. So lion's mane, fish oils, omega-3s. Let's see here. You can do acetyl L-carnitine. It's an amino acid that I believe brings the fat, the good fat, into your brain and helps alpha lipoic acid. You can do, somebody said creatine. I wouldn't do creatine. Different oxygen supplements. Oxygen drops, alkaline drops. What else specifically? I'm trying to think back to my health food store days. What was on the shelf there? There's a lot of things. There's so many different things. What about herbs? Ginkgo biloba, obviously. Ginkgo biloba, gotu kola, ashwagandha, things like that. Phenibut, somebody said, but phenibut being a GABA derivative, G-A-B-A, GABA, that's more for anxiety than actual brain. Somebody said glucosamine, that's for your joints, your ligaments, not necessarily for your brain. Ubiquinol, yes, CoQ10. That's something that's definitely lacking in our bodies, and our bodies are having a tough time producing CoQ10 because our livers are so toxic. Ubiquinol is a good one. Every single cell will use it to create more energy, create more electricity. And then somebody asked also, do I meditate? Kind of. I don't do the static meditation as much as I really want to quite that often. Thanks, Jennifer. Don't I dare delete this video. And actually, I'm going to make you a moderator. Good, good. Separate videos on all these topics. Yeah, I'm going to start doing these live videos and separate the theme of them. That'd be a good idea. But anyway, where was I? Kratom, have I used it? Yeah, I actually have some Kratom with me. Oh, meditation question. So I don't really static meditate quite as much as I want, where you sit there, calm your mind, and it's quiet, you know. But my meditation is active. I do a lot of active meditations, and that for me is running. I run often. I lift weights. That for me is meditation. I go into the gym. There's nothing more cathartic than lifting 300 pounds on a barbell and dropping that shit on the ground. So that's just meditation for me. Soccer. I love soccer. Play that. But anyway, you find what meditates you. Yoga for a lot of people, yeah. You know, whether you call it yoga or just some kind of stretching routine that you do, you know, don't get so caught up in the labels, but more so on the activity. And somebody asked a question, is carbon 60 legit? I would say yes, but there's so many different things you want to do before you start blowing hundreds of bucks on carbon 60. So, you know, you make sure you're eating good food, you make sure you got fluoride-free toothpaste and aluminum-free antiperspirant and, you know, a quality environment and lifestyle and all of that. And then, okay, you can use carbon 60 if it's appropriate for you, you know, if you're looking for that kind of antioxidant. But usually some people sell carbon 60 for like crazy amounts of money. And let me tell you, you don't need to blow hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars on stuff to get healthy. You can. It'll help you. Yeah, I will separate videos in the future. Aluminum-free deodorant brand. I've used Tom's, Jason. Some people just do like lemons. They just freaking rub lemons on their armpits and that works. And cool. All right. I think interview Kevin Rolla, please. I'll try. I love his stuff, actually. I would love to do that. I'll try and get in contact with him. And then, oh, that'd be good. I could do a health-specific video. That would be great. And I could just rattle off a lot of these questions. But anyway, okay, guys, I think I'm about to go for this one. Appreciate you all. I got a bunch of work I gotta go get done. So, interview the Donald. Hey, yo, Trump, get on my YouTube channel, man. Screw the fake news. Have I done much research on energy healing? I mean, I'm familiar with the process, you know, but there's a lot of different methods. There's a lot of different ways you can go about that. I would absolutely be for it. I'm all for it. So, all right, guys, that's all for this one. Take care. I'll be back, and I'll start separating the topics of these videos. So, you know, maybe I'll have different days devoted to different things. So, like Sunday Health Day, Monday this day, SSP Day, or whatever. So, anyway, take care, guys. And as well, last little thing I want to plug in here is my Patreon account. So I'm going to start doing weekly Q&As on my Patreon account, and by doing it on Patreon, there's a lot less people that subscribe to my Patreon than my YouTube channel, so it'll just be a lot easier to get in contact with me, and every single message that I get on Patreon, I am able to respond to. So again, whether it's $1 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can and want and are able to do, I appreciate that. You'll get some... Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. You'll get some exclusive stuff and good feedback through there. So anyway, take care, guys. Good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are on this planet. And have a good one. Take care.